What's going on, guys? Man, it's Zuko here, and I'm here to kind of give you my first impressions on Luna. I actually have some really glaring concerns about this character, and devs, if you're watching this video, you honestly really do need to kind of touch this. I think she's a very cool character. She's honestly my most fun character for me to play just from playing her. She feels really, really cool to play, but she has some very glaring weaknesses that will make her the worst character in this game if you guys don't get this change, because there's currently no way to make her feel better than what she is, which makes her extremely one-dimensional, even worse than Sharon. So that's saying a lot. Let's just get straight into it, man. So her gameplay loop is basically this. You're going to proc your one. I've been kind of playing her for about maybe 15 minutes here. I literally ran just one mission for about 3 rounds of, Kuiper mining, and then I hopped in here after I got all the skills and I just started labbing. So I was able to find her a gameplay loop and all this, and I'm gonna basically explain to you basically how she works. So what's going to happen here is basically you're going to proc your one here. It's going to give you 30 ammo. It's going to pull up this little bar here, basically this, that's going to basically auto track everything in the thing. You need to time these notes with Guitar Hero. If you time the notes right, you basically are building up the little number system there, but it's not really that important. um it's more about making sure you time your notes. Now you also have 30 ammo. If you run out of ammo, the skill will end. If you time your notes wrong, you'll cost MP, right? As you can see, MP costs, right? Which is really, really kind of like what's going on there. Now if you time your notes right, you never use MP. So this is really, really cool, but that's really also kind of like how she works. So how do you increase your ammo once you get low? Well, you proc these other skills here, but you have to proc them on the same timing of the notes that you see in front of you. So again, think Guitar Hero. Also, whenever you proc the skill, it also gives you one of the little orbs. That's really, really weak. Now these things are on set cooldowns, which means you can't, be affected, which means they also have durations, right? So again, as you can see here, we're kind of building that, right? So as you can see, my ammo count is going up as well. And then as you can see, these two skills are basically having their durations. These durations are going to last until, right? So that's basically how that works there. And that's basically your gameplay loop. You're just kind of sitting and going between all of these. So you need to successfully note all of these in order to build this sort of thing kind of going on, right? Which makes this really, really, again, very one-dimensional, because if you don't time a note successfully, you won't get any of the boosts. You won't get any boost to you or your team. Your notes are going to fail, and you're going to lose the little custom resource that's at the bottom there. So you have to time everything perfectly. Now the reason why this is bad is because the only way currently that you can even make this character playable is you have to run Potent Collector. I found this out very early. I was like, hopefully this works for her, and it does. You can genuinely not play Luna without this. So if moving forward, if you see any Luna build, you have to run Potent Collector, because she's literally unplayable. This basically makes it to where if you kill an enemy, you have a 17% chance of giving it to where you get one of those orbs, which is really, really important. Doesn't have a cooldown. It's just basically just a set chance. You have to run this, because the only other way to get your actual orbs is by proccing your skills that are all on set cooldowns. Because again, if you fail the note, so which means you time it wrong, it's not timed in the right area, then you just get a longer cooldown. And these cooldown modules that you see me running here, Nimble Fingers and then Duration, they don't actually affect anything for you. The duration modules only affect the sound, not the performance. So basically what that means is she's doing a performance, your teammates are hearing the sound. That's basically like how they're being cheeky about that. None of the performance side of anything is affected by the duration, which means your duration is straight up going to be 14.5 seconds. You cannot change that at all. It will just straight up always be that, which means you have to constantly cycle between these or you won't get this to happen. Which means it's really, 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 really like weird. So you technically want to cycle between these two over and over and over again, and they're perfectly spaced out to where you can actually do that, right? But there's no way to increase this or have your duration modules affect you, and there's no need to run it for your teammates, because going from 5 seconds to 8 seconds for all of this cost here doesn't do anything, because Why would you want to worry about giving your teammates MP when they can just run MP recovery? If they have an optimized build, they're gonna play for them not having a Luna. So why would you want to run a Luna that's doing this for you whenever you can just run MP recovery in combat and do it for yourself? There's literally no need for this. So this skill is completely useless for Luna as a character and also for your teammates. And if you run duration on it, it's even more useless. It's just a waste of everything. Why? Because Luna doesn't use MP if you time your notes correctly. And this one here actually has a really, really fast tick rate of the notes. So you can actually just hit all the notes and hit the mobs. And since you auto track everything, it's really, really cool. Well, the biggest issue with this is that your cooldown modules as well. So as you can see, we have the cooldown. They don't affect on note success, and you need to successfully hit the notes in order for you to get the boost for you and your team. Which means you're going to have to deal with the 7-second cooldown every single time. You cannot change that. You're going to have to deal with a 6-second cooldown every single time. You cannot change that. And you're going to have to deal with a whopping 45-second cooldown for this ability, and you cannot change that. So this on note failure, it's pointless. So if you fail the note, all it's going to do is make it to where you have a much longer cooldown, which means you have to time these right. If you don't, then you mess up everything. Why would you build your build around you playing the character wrong? It doesn't make sense, right? So there's no need to run any cooldown perks on her, and there's no need to run any duration perks on her because they both are bad. And what's even worse is that these skills here are both kind of bad because this one's useless for her and your character. You will only use it so that way you can give yourself an orb that you're going to need for the custom resource, so that way you can actually get to your enhanced skills. Well, your enhanced version of this skill is mid. You don't want to use it. Your enhanced version of this one actually, makes a little bit of sense because a 65% skill power modifier increase, that actually makes a huge difference. But you would also want to get the enhanced cheerful performance for this one, right? You would think, but this would never be able to happen because, again, if you time your notes successfully, then this would never happen because you would probably get all of your notes in about 7 seconds in order to actually be able to bring, let's say if you proc this ability, in order to build your notes, just basically build your inspiration gauge. That's basic gauge. That's basically the custom resource that you're building. Well, you can build that in about 7 seconds whenever you get to this mode, but you're always going to have to deal with a 45-second cooldown, and there's no way to lower that ever because it's not being affected by the cooldown modules, which means you will never be able to truly get enhanced cheerful performance to work for you. So you're never going to see that happen unless you're running Potent Collector or you spam these two abilities over and over and over again to get to that point. But they're both on 6 and 7 second cooldowns, which means it will take you forever to get to your enhanced sort of abilities. And that's where you would find the most sort of value in her being a support character. But since you can never use them, there's no need to do that. So these two abilities are basically trash because you can never use them enough to make them being warranted. Why would you want to use them if you can't use them? So if you're not running Potent Collector, this character is unplayable, which means you would have to run Potent Collector, and you would also have to run the new Gluttony set that gives you, again, custom resources. Or this one as well. I think I have it in here. Where is it at? This one. You would have to basically like, not this one, the new one, the Gluttony set that just came out. You would have to run that one. So you would have to run the new set on top of the Potent Collector to make her even somewhat playable, so that way you can actually use your enhanced versions, so that way you can even get to something that would make her strong, because a 20% skill power modifier isn't that strong, but a 65 would be. But you can't really get to that. So there's really nothing that she can do to make herself feel better. So all of these modules you see right here are completely useless. They do nothing for you. The only module that's good for is Potent Collector. So what can you run? Well, she's a non-attribute and a tech character. Even though these are singular modules, singular skills, the damage you're going to do from these skills, it's all going to be coming from this tech ability. So you would have to run tech. Don't run singular. Singular does nothing for you. You have to run non-attribute and you have to run tech. There's no need to run cooldown. So again, no need to run any of that, which means you just run like range so that way your teammates can get the buff better. But that makes no sense to make a build completely based around that whenever this actually doesn't do any damage, which means why would you want to run this? It's not like it's going to make it to where you can affect more mobs or you're giving yourself more there's no need for you to run this. So you're chasing your team. That just makes no sense. Now, multi-talented is extremely strong. You have to run multi-talented and potent collector. These are your two most important skills here, and these two here. So this is where all of your DPS is going to come from. This makes it to where you, again, all your attribute damage is going to be plus 30, which is really, really good, especially when you pair it with these two here, whenever you upgrade that. So you have to run multi-talented. And then the tech here is going to give you the skill range as well. So, and also a skill power modifier. So again, it kind of works in your favor there. So you have to run multi-talented with her. I just genuinely don't see the strengths of this character. She can't do anything. I don't see why anyone would want to run her over anyone else. Let's go. Like, look at this. So now we built this, right? And we're at this point, right? Well, guess what? I can never proc my Z again for another 45 seconds. I proc this. Cool. What if I wanted to get my V enhanced? Nope. Can't do it. You're going to have to do this again. That makes no sense. Like that genuinely makes no sense. Which means if you're not killing mobs with Potent Collector, you get nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. So this is extremely horrid character, sort of like upgrade ability. Like, genuinely, you cannot run either of these and just legit, this would be an optimal build. Because, technically speaking here, this is really good range, right? As you can see, that's not bad. So to say if you're doing this for a team, to say it's only giving them 5 seconds, that really isn't doing anything for them, right? So there's really no need to run that. It's not like you're getting damage from her abilities. So I genuinely don't understand how this character can be strong. She's really cool, but she's the weakest character in this game, hands down, because she's so one-dimensional. And your whole gameplay loop, you can't make it better. Which means you can't make yourself better for your team, and you can't make yourself better for yourself. So if you don't have a extremely cracked weapon to do the damage, then that means you're just kind of useless. And you're supposed to sit in this mode, but this thing doesn't hit that hard. Like, it hits nice, but I don't know, man. Just my first impressions with this character so far. I think she's a really cool character. I think it's a great character design, very creative. One of the most creative developer teams that I've ever, sort of seen in a game. Like, Bunny is a great character design. All of these characters are really, really nice whenever it comes to their characters, like how they're being played and whatnot. But you made it to where there's no need to run half of the modules in the game for her, which is really bad. Now, if this is a bug, get it fixed immediately, because there's genuinely no need to run this character over any other character in the game. Genuinely no reason. So it is what it is, man. Izuko, we out. Peace.